Welcome to Celebrating Act Two, where John Coleman and I are sitting in the loge or the balcony or in our own rooms, actually in our own rooms, watching a vintage film channel really special movie today. Well, they're all special. What do we got today, John?
I love it. This particular movie. It's kind of it reminded me so much of Casablanca.
Mm,
And it really was. It's about that same period. It's a British film, by the way. And I don't know much about British cinema, but they were very, very active even during World War II, if you can believe that. This film was made in 1944, and it's about kind of 1943 and the invasion of North Africa, kicking the Germans and the Italians out of North Africa, from which the Allies moved into Italy and defeated
yeah, I think it was a
Mussolini and
series
yada
of.
yada yada.
I think it was one of the series of patriotic films. They happened very quickly in America. Uh, a lot of them that we
Yep.
saw in America were about the Pacific, where we were much more involved earlier in
Yeah.
42 and 43 before we sort of got really involved in Europe with boots on the ground.
Yep.
But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It's sort of I'm, I don't think I'm gonna. This is not like a. You have to hide your children from hearing about this. Is that this is probably not as good as Casablanca,
Yeah.
although it had a major star, which is one of the reasons we were attracted to it.
Well, that's what caught my eye as I've browsed through Vintage Film Channel was James Mason,
Mm.
and I thought, well, gee, he looks so young in this. This must be his first film. This was by no means James
Yeah,
Mason's
it was
first film.
1944. This was shot in.
Yeah, yeah, and, by the way, this is even though it's a kind of a quickie film, like Casablanca was a B film,
Mm.
this is a um, very prestigious production. Great actors in this, and a director who really knew what he was doing, and it's a simple kind of story. It's kinda like Casablanca in that it's intrigue. There's no great action scenes of armies crossing the bridge and killing each other or anything like that. But it's a really well put together movie. Um, Story's a little simple, but the intrigue is pretty good, and
Yep.
there's some fun stuff to look at. So it all begins with a heroine in the hospital, and she's not quite sure why she's in the hospital. The French nuns are taking care of her. It's in Tunisia, and she's not quite sure where she is or who she is. And if you jump forward to 415, Art,
Yep.
on in the movie 415, a nun shows her a newspaper article, and the newspaper article really is a cinematic excuse to tell the story and flash back to the main story.
Right.
So, secret mission: the Americans arrive in a British submarine uh, in North Africa and plot uh, the landing and the war in North Africa, which will drive the Nazis and the Italians out and allow them to get into Italy and go back north to fight the Germans from the other side, if you will.
Yeah. So that's
So,
happened, and she was injured, and now she's just waking up in the hospital, and
yeah,
she's just about to give the story of what happened here, obviously flashing back the year or so of all the intrigue. So here we go.
right.
She's a sculptress who was at an
Now,
uncle's villa in North Africa, and that's
if
where
if
it
you
opens.
if you wondered if you had any doubt about her sympathies, her political sympathies, she's making a bust
Oh,
of Roosevelt.
right.
So, so anyway, I love the lighting and the art direction of this. It's very north. They've done a. I'm sure it was shot in a studio in Britain, but they did a great job of making it look like North Africa, just like they did in Casablanca. And she meets James Mason. James Mason, one of my favorite actors of all time. Anyway, she meets James Mason at the point of a gun. She thinks somebody is coming
But
to break
by the
in.
way, not so different today than than today is that she is a Canadian actress playing an
Yeah,
American, okay,
yeah,
as opposed to a British actress playing an
yes,
American. Because it
yeah,
looks like every good American actor today
yeah.
is
So
actually a Brit.
who do you suppose this guy is rifling through her drawers, stealing money? Oh, we're going to about watch when he reveals himself. It's James Mason. Oh, so he's escaped from the I guess the Italians at the time, but the Italian uh, Italy kind of ran North Africa or owned North Africa, but the Germans really were in charge of the Italians, and it's you've got a great mix of political Algerians, Italians, Nazis, and of course the British. You know,
Right.
this is a great combination. Reminds me a lot of Casablanca. So anyway, she meets him at the point of a gun and rescues him in a sense, hides him from the Italians. Go to 912, 912, where she's now given him hiding, and who should arrive at the door
No,
searching for.
wait. Look where she's hiding him behind a staircase. But this is absolutely cool. They spared no expense. That's a staircase that she moved out, and she's telling like nobody would know that that's
Yeah,
yeah. So
yeah. Oh,
and
and
she
she gives
gives
him a
him the
gun.
gun.
Sure sign that he's a good guy, right? I
Hmm.
love the way that the staircase pulls out. You're right. So little cute stuff like that makes this a fun film, and it is the right word, belies the fact that it's not a expensive production at all.
And of course, she
But
puts on a
I love
robe
this.
to convince them that the reason she didn't answer the door right away was that she just came out of the bedroom. They
Yeah.
awakened her from a nap or something.
Now this the female lead is Carla Lehman,
Yeah.
who actually went on to have a very wonderful career. This is her seventh film. And what I loved about this particular scene is this guy comes to the door. He's an Italian soldier, and he speaks Italian, and then he tries to do broken English when she says, "Can't you speak English?"
Mm.
And everybody's a British actor in this, but they're doing great accents, and I just thought it was wonderful. But Carla Lehman had a wonderful career. She was very successful actress, and she does a great job in this. Oh, here is the bad guy. This is Dr. Muller. Oh, yeah. And the Italians salute the, I don't know whether he was Gestapo or what, but he was the German
Right.
high command somewhere. But it's wonderful intrigue of hiding the American who is trying to get,
And
connection.
he's an American soldier. He's not just like Rick's
Oh, I'm sorry,
Cafe.
he's not American. He's British.
But
He's a British soldier.
yeah, he's a British soldier, right?
Yeah, but he's a British soldier wearing a plaid shirt, because
Yes,
he's an escaped convict or something.
right.
Um, do me a favor, go to. Uh, there's another character actor besides this guy. This is Walter Rilla, uh, who is the chief bad guy, if you
Give me
will.
a
He's a
number. Give
Nazi.
me a number.
Um, uh, let's see. Well, before we go anywhere else, I'm going to talk about Walter Rilla. Walter
Okay.
Rilla was the only actual ethnic guy in the film, as far as I know. He's a German actor who escaped Germany in the 30s because his wife was Jewish and he was half Jewish. And he was working in Britain for 10 years before this movie was done. And he unfortunately got very fine actor, but he got typecast as
Typecast it as
the
because
bad
of the
guy.
accent. Because of the accent.
Yeah. And he was very good at it. He played that stern Nazi. He could be very charming if he wanted to. Hello, madam. Anyway, uh, it's this is a great scene where he pulls out a cigarette butt and says, "There is no lipstick on this cigarette butt. Maybe you are hiding somebody, yeah?" And she says, she's so cool. She says, "Well, I wasn't wearing lipstick when I smoked that cigarette."
Oh.
So great, wonderful little scene. Nothing special about it, but you know what? It's part of the way this movie was done. And I really liked it. It's a easy to like
And
film.
it
And
wasn't. It was actually pretty typical. In fact, I think I'm because it had James Mason in it. I may have watched this as a kid, on TV. This is the kind of stuff that it was cheap for
yeah,
them to buy a whole bunch of this stuff and throw it on
yeah,
late night TV or something like that to fill in space. But this was
yep,
very typical of something early fare on American TV,
sure,
of especially after the war, because it was a patriotic film about
sure,
an American and a Brit who were involved in the secrets of providing information so that the Allies could make a successful landing in Tunisia.
yeah, yeah. Go to 2748. I marked this as a spot where we meet Ray Lovell. Ray Lovell has a second billing, I think, in the film after James Mason and Carla Lehman.
Mm.
And Ray
She, by the way,
Lovell,
by the way, the caller really is pretty, very very pretty in that.
oh, gorgeous,
Yeah,
and a good
yeah,
actress.
yeah.
By the way, everybody's a great actress in there. The
Mm.
the second female lead, Maritza,
Hmm.
is a British actress doing a great what Algerian accent or something.
Yeah,
So here's Herr Muller um, uh, in another scene, and what I wanted you to see is the Nazi officer is a British actor who does a great German accent, and this is Raymond Lovell, who was a very fine British character actor. Let's see, is there a better mark where we can see more of Raymond Lovell? I'm looking at my notes here. Um,
but this is
there he is.
yeah, but
I guess I didn't pick a very good scene, but anyway, I just love the fact that all these Brits are doing all these accents, and Walter Rilla as Dr. Mueller is the only one who who is really speaking in his own voice.
he wasn't speaking with an accent. He was just speaking.
Yeah,
He wasn't putting it on. He wasn't acting.
yeah. But if you look closely, you would probably recognize Raymond Lovell because we had seen him in so many other movies as a character. Um, and here he's playing a little bit different. He was very usually a haughty British guy, you know, and here he's kind of a haughty Nazi guy. But it's a fascinating film. The intrigue is pretty basic. You all know the story, and you know it's going to end happily ever after. Um, Go to 5812. This is the only excitement in the movie that I think. 5812 is the close to the ending, and James Mason is going to save Carla Lehman
Yeah,
because they know now that she's going to be that she was a spy.
right.
There's Mason. He shaved his mustache. What a good-looking guy he was. You know, one of the things that fascinated me about this movie is I only knew James Mason from what Lolita or something. You know, in the 50s or the 60s, and here he's a young, handsome, vibrant guy. Just a different view of James Mason than I had ever had before. So there's
Yeah,
a nighttime car chase, and she jumps out into the jungle or wherever and saves her.
no,
That's why she
but you
ends up
have to
in a
watch a
hospital.
car chase, which is so typically B movie would be a promotion.
Yeah,
This was definitely in the L to G, L to M range
yeah,
of movies. But it's a lot of the kind of stuff and special effects that when we were growing up, and our audience can
yeah,
attest to it, that this was exciting because
yeah,
this was the state of the art, and these cars would make these hairpin turns, and which it couldn't possibly do, and he had all this kind of stuff, and here he's having a good jump out, and then
yeah,
he's going to uh, uh, whisk them away from her so that she could get
yeah,
to safety. But this is
yeah.
really terrific stuff.
Yeah. By the way, I want to go backwards, if you don't
Yeah,
mind,
sure.
to 3113. There was a
3113.
cute 3113. There was a cute scene just to show you the intrigue. there's there's Raymond Lovell being a Nazi. To show you the intrigue, here comes a porter coming down the hotel, entering the room where Lovell is interrogating the girl. And who do you suppose it is in disguise? Oh, look, it's James Mason. Ah, who would have thought? So there, there isn't, there's no great cinematic achievements here, but it's a fun story. It's not a long movie by any means. Sometimes,
And you get to watch, even though they're all really good actors, you get to watch a very well-known, very well-respected actor, James
yeah,
Mason, in a relatively early role before he
yeah.
came to America, and that's where he really started making it big. Is that
Well, he
actually
was when this movie was made. He and Carla were, I won't say big stars, but they
right?
were very, very well known, very successful British actors in British cinema.
Mhm.
And it was after the war, really, that James Mason moved to America and
Right, correct. So
got the big,
this is an earlier
the international name.
role of how he was used. It's almost like the studio system saying, "Hey, we got this James Mason. Let's use this one, James Mason for this one." And
Sure.
this Canadian actress who actually is living here in Great Britain, and she
Yeah.
sounds British. So we're gonna, but she'll be an American, and we'll pull her in. And we got this guy
Yeah.
who talks like a Nazi, and let's put them all together. And I don't know whether this was a what they called it a quota quickie. I don't know whether that was one of these or not, where
Yeah.
they had to make an all British film, but
Right.
it was a remarkable. It was memorable as the kind of stuff that we saw growing up, and quite frankly, in its day, it was kind of exciting.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. And it's a reasonably well written story and certainly nicely acted.
Mm,
I don't never got the impression these people were not enjoying or not getting really into the work
right.
or didn't believe the story. You know how some actors can do that. And this is the romance. He comes close, but he doesn't kiss her till the end. I want to just tell you that.
Do you have the Hallmark moment marked down on your numbers?
I think I do, but it's let's see. No, I don't. I guess I don't have the very closing.
There you go.
I have. I did mark down the submarine where the Americans arrive. That's the whole plot. He's
Right.
trying to get the Americans to come for a secret planning meeting to conquer North Africa.
Okay, here's
Uh,
the end of the chase. We don't have much time left here.
no,
Okay.
go to 4411, uh, which is backwards when the Americans arrive on a submarine,
Submarine.
on a British submarine. Thank you very much. And that's the wartime story.
But look how they're
But
dressed. They're dressed in full dress uniforms, as opposed to what they would actually really wear. And so it's a lot of hokey stuff. But I guess
yeah,
that's what, somebody said, do we have some military uniforms? So they got dress uniforms. Uh, Not exactly what I think that they would have worn. Them. Maybe I'm wrong. But nice, I had the rubber
well, wait a
mats.
minute, wait a minute. This isn't Star Trek trying to do a World War II theme. 50 years later. This was what, a year.
Right.
These are not hokey uniforms. It's the real stuff.
And now here's the doctor, whatever his name is, and James Mason, and he thinks he's caught him, but James Mason, of course, has
Yeah,
a surprise for him, which we're not going to spoil for you. You'll have to watch
right,
it. Okay,
right.
so I'm going to go past that, and let's see what happens.
Well, do you need to see the ending?
Here you go. She's
She's
now
back in the hospital.
hospital. Yeah, let's get the Hallmark
So
ending.
the movie was a whole flashback,
Right.
right? Here we are now back at the beginning in the hospital, and she barely remembers anything other
Right.
than that story.
But somebody
And
came to visit her.
you've
Somebody
got a
came to
visitor.
visit her. A visitor.
Who could the visitor be? Well, look, He's even in uniform.
Ah,
And of course, if you're going to play it to the kiss, you're going to
yeah,
have to
of
finish
course.
the kiss. Yeah, we got to see the happy ending.
It's
There
a
you go.
hug.
A
And
hug
now,
followed by.
and now,
This is a very, by the way, this is a cute ending. I don't want to tell you what she says, but it's a cute ending, and it's worth watching just for this ending. I won't tell you what she says because it's worth watching.
unless you could read lips.
Yeah. Anyway, I hope you watch Candlelight in Algeria,
In your
and
living room,
that refers to a signal
Candlelight in Algeria in your living room on Vintage Film Channel.
on
Lucky
Vintage Film
you.
Channel. Yeah, yeah. So we'll see you soon on Vintage Film Channel.
For more on Celebrating Act Two, visit our webpage, follow us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and tell your friends. Celebrating Act Two is the user manual for the second half of your life.